Emerging from the Dark. Written by Aspen Black and Jen D. Young. Narrated by Bridget and Jake Bordeaux. Chapter 1. Felicity. Watching my cousin Win and my best friend Becca drive away from the curb hurt more than I could say. I knew that leaving Texas was the only chance I had at a normal life. I had to escape my parents and the Venandi, but it didn't make this any easier. I was starting over with just the clothes on my back and my phone. I didn't even have a phone charger. At least Win had thought further ahead than I did. He linked me to an account on my phone that he put money in for me. Not that I wanted to use it. It was his money, but I didn't have much of a choice. I watched until their car disappeared from sight. The aching pain in my chest stabbed at me, but I squared my shoulders. I had a flight to catch. Stuffing my long blonde hair up into the baseball cap that my cousin had given me, I clutched my ticket and walked into the airport with my chin up. The place was huge, but the signs were pretty self-explanatory. Before going through security, I went shopping. Cell phones with digital wallet apps were a lifesaver. I'd done a little research on Anchorage before Becca came to talk to me this morning. It would be expensive up there. I didn't want to use all of Win's money, nor did I want to show up without anything. So I purchased a bag that could work as a carry-on. I grabbed an overpriced wall charger, earbuds, some snacks, a romance book that looked interesting, and I went to a clothing store and got 3 days' worth of clothes. Since it was still technically summer, I didn't think I'd have to worry about needing warmer clothes. By the time I made it through security, my stomach was rumbling. Lucky for me, there were a ton of choices. My flight wasn't for another hour, so I grabbed a sandwich and settled in the waiting area to enjoy my food while starting the book.
Would you mind if I shared the electrical outlet with you?
A deep baritone voice jerked me out of the story, a slight blush going across my cheeks. The scene had started to get hot. A guy, wearing a jacket with the hood pulled up so it obscured all of his face except his eyes, stood in front of me holding a phone in one hand with a charger in the other. He held them up with a raised eyebrow. I glanced around and noticed that the area had filled while I'd been reading. Sure. He was a shifter, but I wasn't sure what kind. The man sat next to me, his presence making my body go rigid unconsciously. Eyeing him from the side, I shifted slightly. This guy was nearly as big as Win, just not as tall. When he bent to plug in his phone, his sleeves rolled up, revealing elaborate tattoos on his arms. But before I could get a better look, he straightened.
What are you reading?
While I was busy trying to look at his tattoos...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?